Welcome everybody. This episode we're going to talk about my favorite amplifier, the Dr. Z Remedy, why I love this amp and how I use it. I use this as a clean platform to plug pedals into. And I'm going to talk about two of my favorite overdrive pedals and how I use them with this amazing sounding amp. More on that when we get back. All right, welcome back, everybody. This episode, we're gonna have some fun. This is my first episode where I'm talking about gear. This is not a rundown on my rig. My rig changes depending on where I'm playing and what kind of music I'm playing. But let's just say that one of my absolute favorite combinations is this Dr. Z Remedy. I love this amp. Unfortunately, Dr. Z has discontinued it, but its power amp section lives on in the Z-Lux, which I think is his flagship combo, top of the line for Dr. Z. I'd love to get my hands on one of those, but right now I have this one here, and I'm going to use this one today as a platform to plug pedals into. I have this Dr. Z set at half power because I'm sitting right beside it. I'm in a tiny room, so I don't need to have the full 40 watts. This is a beast at 40 watts. I have it plugged in. I have it on half power, and I have it plugged into a Celestion Gold 50 watt Alnico speaker. I think the two of these pieces of gear were just a match made in heaven. I've got a Sennheiser E906 plugged into my Avalon preamp, which is not coloring the sound very much. So really what you're getting is, in my opinion, the truest sound of what this amp represents. And the two pedals that I'm going to talk about today are two of my favorite overdrive pedals. One is the Robert Keeley Fat Mod. Now this is a knockoff on the, well, this started off as the Blues Driver, the Boss Blues Driver BD2 that Robert Keeley would modify, upgrade the parts, take a little bit of the fizziness out of there, but he really knocked it out of the park with this Fat Mod. And the other one we're going to talk about is the Way Huge Conspiracy Theory Overdrive, which is more in the Klon Centaur mid-range forward kind of pedal. So let's get right into it. Here I'm using my V8 custom Bonneville. This is my signature guitar, the Blues Bandito, which the guys at V8 Custom Guitars built for me to my specifications. I have TV Jones Powertron pickups in these. They sound absolutely killer. Here is the clean sound. So it's clean, but it's got a, I wouldn't say it's on the verge of breakup if I dig into it. So here is the sound with the Robert Keeley Fat Mod. So it has, like the Blues Driver, a slightly scooped mid-range, which is really, I find this really pleasant for rhythm sounds. I really like playing rhythm guitar with this, and it cleans up really nicely. I have the treble bleed capacitor on this, so the treble does not go down, is not muted when I roll back the volume knob here. See, we're off here. You come back in. it retains a nice jangly kind of sound. And on the on the neck pickup, so that's with the pedal engaged. So I can just use that pedal to ride the volume. So part of that sound is the Alnico Gold, the Celestion Gold. I just absolutely adore this speaker, and in combination with this amplifier, I've tried greenbacks, I've tried creambacks, I've tried a couple of other some warehouse speakers. No matter what I try, there's nothing that sounds to my ear as nice as this combination. I even like the clean sound better with the volume rolled down and the fat mod than the actual clean sound itself. Although the clean sound has a little more depth in the low end, which of course when you engage an overdrive pedal, it slightly cuts off the bass on the bottom. But not so much, which is what I really love. This is what I initially loved about the Blues Driver. The Blues Driver was the first distortion pedal that I had ever heard that did not decapitate, did not cut out the bottom end. The beef of the guitar. I don't like it when the low end completely goes away. I like it to be, I guess that's why they call it transparent. It's not really transparent because it does color your sound. It scoops out the mid-ranges a little bit, but it allows the top and the bottom to exist in the overdriven sound. So that's clean. That's overdriven. It still has a little bit of the low end, but when you clean it up, it has a sparkle that the clean amp on its own, although it's richer in the low end, as I said, this with the rolled out back the volume, jangly, and it cuts through. Beautiful on the neck pickup. TV Jones pickups, they sound. Okay, so let's get on to the second one. I really like, I love the Conspiracy Theory Way Huge Overdrive. This is, again, here's the clean sound. Now you're going to see a more pronounced cut on the bottom end. This one has got much more focused mid-range. I'm putting it to about the same drive level as I had the Fat Mod, so we can really try to compare apples and apples. It's got a really nice mid-range that just blossoms it. And then when I clean it up with the volume, it cleans up reasonably well, but it does not clean up as well as which is why I love this pedal. But I also love this pedal, and here is really what I love the most about it, is that I discovered, I'm going to adjust the settings on this so it does what I want it to do. I discovered many years ago that when I took my Blues Driver, my Boss BD2, as the platform for the major sound of what's coming out of the amp. So I would use that to I would roll down my volume for a cleaner sound, and I would, use it as a rhythm sound. But then I would put a tube screamer in front of it, kind of like this, what I'm doing here. I would feed my guitar into the tube screamer, out into the Blues Driver, and then I would put the tube screamer not so much with a distortion sound, but with a little louder than this one. So this, you can hear, is considerably louder than, not considerably, but a bit anyway, a little louder, because I'm trying to push the input of the pedal to saturate. So I turn down the gain on this a little bit. I turn up the volume to compensate, and I put the tone knobs both at around noon. They have their own sweet spots, as you know. Every pedal has their own sweet spot. So this is what I do normally on my rig. And then when I want to really go into the saturation territory, I feed the Conspiracy Theory, which is a mid-range forward pedal, into the more scooped platform, and it gives back the mid-range, and it really makes what I think is a wicked lead sound. So you got tons of sustain on tap, but I really feel that the mid-range forward pedal really brings out the overtones and the harmonics in the more mid-range scooped pedal. I don't know which is bringing out which, but I just know that I tried this in the 90s with the BD2 and a tube screamer, and I heard it back on a recording. I didn't even realize it when I was doing it, but I heard it back on a recording. I said, wow, that's a wicked sound. So this is basically the same kind of setup, except that I've just chosen different pedals because I really think that this Fat Mod is an upgrade. I have not tried the BD2 Wazacraft, which might be just as good as this or even better. I'm not sure. I've not tried it. I love the Way Huge Conspiracy Theory for what it does with this. Get that nice, the overtone coming out when you hit the A. It does it pretty much on demand, which is why I love the combination of these two pedals, because I don't have to be at a roaring volume to get a really saturated tone and to get feedback whenever I want, because I love to use feedback when I play. So this is how I use my Dr. Z Remedy with the Celestion Gold as a platform, a clean platform to use my overdrive pedals. Now, I'm going to come back in a minute and I'm going to show you the way I would add in a modulation to this to give it a little extra over the top. I'm also going to change guitars to my Stratocaster up here in the back. Be right back. So I'm back with my trusty Strat. This is just a Franken Strat. There's nothing really special about it. This is a Mexican body that I bought used online. This is a Mexican neck with the nice locking Fender tuners on there. This is a great neck. It has, I believe, 6105 jumbo frets, so tall and narrow. And I have a DiMarzio injector stacked humbucker in the bridge. I have a Area 58, DiMarzio Area 58 stacked humbucker in the middle, and I have a stacked humbucking Area 61, also by DiMarzio. I love the DiMarzio Strat pickups in the stacked format. They give you great tone, and the noise is non-existent. There you go. And even with, like I'm on the bridge pickup, no noise. Also, I'm tuned in E flat. I usually play in E flat, and this is set up with a floating bridge. I don't know if you can see that, but the floating bridge. So I didn't want to readjust the whole guitar to put it into 440. So I'm keeping this guitar in E flat. But I'm going to talk a little bit about how I use modulation. Now, I have my Deja Vibe, which is an amazing sounding Univibe kind of knockoff. So I'm going to add, hang on. What I love about it is that it has a volume too, so you can really so you don't lose any of your sound to the modulation because the phase shifting takes away a little bit of the mid-range. But what I like to do, so I was inspired by, of course, like that Robin Trower. And I could never, that Robin Trower, Jimi Hendrix, Pat Travers also used it a little bit too. It sounded like there was a chorus or some kind of univibe on their distorted guitar, but I could never reproduce the sound myself because I would always put the modulation at the end of the overdrive chain, and I've completely changed the way I think about that now because I've found this little trick is that if you want to get those 60s, late 60s and early 70s super over the top, swishy, distorted sounds that Hendrix, like with the Band of Gypsies and Robin Trower and people like that would get, well, think about what Jimmy was doing back in the day. He would have a 100-watt Marshall or two on stage, dimed out, so already these amps were roaring, and then he would plug the Univibe into that while it was already raging. So take the Univibe in a pedal format and plug it in to the distortion first, and bingo, there's that sound that I could not get any other way. So here it is. And now if you put in the second overdrive, also have the treble bleed volume capacitor on this because I love to use my volume knob whenever I can. And although there's a little bit of hiss in the background, I don't like noise gates or anything like that because I just think that this is part of the beast. That's the way it is, and I find that noise gates sometimes when you're doing that kind of stuff, just keeping the infinite sustain, it can cut off on you. So I live with this, and when the pedals are at my feet, I just get used to at the end of it. And then I hit the pedal with my foot, and we're good like that. I don't have to turn everything off. Just taking one out of the chain is enough that when you're in a gig situation, no one's going to notice. So this is my special way of doing this. So this is a pretty expensive piece. I love the sound of this. It cleans up so well with the volume. But if you don't want to shell out around $300 for a Deja Vibe, I have a great option for you. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So what I've done is I've swapped out my Deja Vibe, which runs quite expensive, for an insanely inexpensive, this is about $50 US, and this is a Tone City Angel Wing chorus pedal. And I'll let you hear what it sounds like. Again, I put this pre-distortion, so this is the first thing in the chain. I think it sounds absolutely amazing. So if we take our sound like this, I absolutely love this pedal. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I actually think it sounds better to my ears for what I'm looking for. There's a little less phase happening. I find that the Deja Vibe, although it might sound a little bit more authentically univibe-y, if I could say that, I like this sound, which was modeled after the Boss CE1 or CE2. I don't remember. I think it's the CE2. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous. I keep it around here. I keep the volume and the depth around, 3/4, and So I just think that this is a fantastic combination, and this is the basis for my rig. If you would add in some delay and maybe a little bit of reverb if you like. I don't usually use reverb. I let the sound man out front decide how much reverb he's going to use depending on the hall we're in. I don't really use reverb pedals. I use delays, and delays used properly can make an incredibly large guitar sound without even having to use reverb, because there is no reverb on this amplifier. So there you have it. That is this episode of Double D's Rock School. I am Dwayne Dixon, aka Double D. It is always a privilege and an honor to share these episodes with you. Please hit the subscribe button, the notification button. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is how I use my Dr. Z remedy with the Celestion Gold Alnico speaker, a match made in heaven in my opinion. Add to this a nice mid-range, easy, slightly scooped style BD2 Robert Keeley Fat Mod type overdrive pedal. Pair that with a Tube Screamer / Klon Centaur mid-range forward. Gain stage to your ear's delight, and you have tone that just won't quit as far as I'm concerned.